Hi, I'm Arlin Otto, and today I'm doing an Ask Me Anything with the Sustainable Buildings Network. So I am a structural engineer and I work at Tacoma Engineers in their Guelph office. I primarily work on heritage and investigation projects with the firm. We're a structural engineering firm and we do a lot of different style of projects. And I would say the way sustainability is incorporated is we have a passive house and a high performance building team. So we deal with a lot of individuals and projects that are trying to be more sustainable than, say, the code minimum. We also get into sustainability on my team, which is heritage investigation, by adapting existing buildings. What did Arlin study in undergrad and why? My undergrad was in architectural conservation and sustainability engineering from Carleton University in Ottawa. I studied this because I love buildings. Originally, I thought I wanted to be an architect, but I actually enjoyed problem solving kind of on the structural engineering side more than I enjoyed conceptualizing buildings. So I prefer to kind of make other people's dreams come true and think of creative ways to solve problems for them. During my undergrad, I specialized in structural engineering through the architectural engineering program, and I also did a thesis in fire safety engineering, specifically around heritage buildings, heritage timber, and fire, because that's one of my specific interests. Is Arlin working on her master's right now? I am. Crazy enough, I work full-time as a structural engineer and I'm doing a Master's of Engineering and MEng part-time at the University of Waterloo. I just finished my 6th course, so I'm 75% of the way through that, which is pretty exciting. Definitely a busy schedule, but I wanted to pursue an engineering master's because I just wanted a little bit more insight into some specific subjects as I developed my skills as an engineer. So that was a really tangible way to do it part-time while I worked. What is Arlin's favorite building material? I really enjoy designing timber and wood and engineered wood products. But I mostly work on existing buildings, so I'd say masonry and like rubble stone masonry or multi-wide brick assemblies are also very interesting to me. Why is Arlin interested in heritage conservation? Personally, I think working with existing buildings is a very unique challenge. And it also makes for more unique cities and more interesting developments, in my opinion. So I think heritage conservation is extremely linked to sustainability and also to conscious development in city centers, as well as, conservation of heritage, in the stories and culture of places and people. What do sustainable buildings mean to Arlin? I would say building sustainably means thinking beyond the code minimum. So whether it be the Ontario Building Code, the National Building Code, the Euro Code, have all prescriptive minimums for what we would design new buildings to. I think sustainable construction means going beyond that, taking that further, whether it be insulation, whether it be net zero, or just the way we evaluate our waste in buildings. The construction industry is extremely wasteful, and that's why I think conservation of existing structures is a big piece of how to be sustainable. So I think sustainability means looking at problems holistically and tackling them holistically as well. Does Arlin think COVID has changed the nature or essence of her work? There's been a lot of material shortages, specifically in structural engineering and construction. So it means we're often involved to try and redesign projects for the materials they can source. So that's one thing. I'm doing a lot more redesigns than I have in the past. Usually things would go out the door and be built and there wouldn't be any material delays. So I am having to go back on a few projects to reorient them. What are some soft skills required to work in Arlin field? Engineering, at least what I found in undergrad and so far in my master's, it is very technical heavy, but at the end of the day, you are interacting with people every day, and the soft skills are extremely important. One of the biggest things that I've learned is that engineering and consulting engineering is really just managing expectations, trying to calibrate what people are looking for with what you can give them. And whether that be timeline or quotes, having those discussions and being able to have crucial conversations with people when people are not on the same page is pretty important. So I think social awareness and self-awareness are key. What other professionals does Arlin interact with, and in what capacity? I primarily work with, I would say, contractors and architects. On bigger projects, there would be an architect, a mechanical engineer, a structural engineer, maybe a planner, a civil engineer. And then in the office, at the firm I work at, we're probably about 50% engineers and 50% technologists. So the technologists would have a CET certification, or some have their BCIN certification. So they would help us manage jobs and do drawings, details, code reviews. So lots of support aside from just the structural engineering. What are some of Arlin's professional goals? Primarily, over the next few years, my goals are technical in nature, so finishing my master's. I just got my PhD. I am looking to get my CAP designation, so through the Canadian Association of Heritage Professionals, my professional designation of that, which means that I have 5 years of experience on heritage buildings. I definitely see in the future moving up into more of a management role with getting my stamp. Part of that means reviewing with EITs, reviewing projects with them, teaching them, so I'm growing into a teaching role as well. What advice would Arlin give to current engineering students? Curiosity is what gets you very far in engineering. And you don't need any credentials, you just need to be willing to learn and willing to ask questions and willing to dig deeper, read, and take in new knowledge. So be a sponge, learn as much as you can, and don't lose your curiosity. Everything is a learning opportunity, whether it's a job that you take that's not perfect. It can teach you what you don't like as much as teaching you what you do like. So I always used to say in undergrad, fail forward, try something, see if you like it. There's never any lost time in learning more about what you do or don't like. So you don't have to focus on your perfect job, your perfect career path. There's lots of stepping stones that can get you to have a very successful career. And don't be stressed about being perfect in that, because not very many people have a straight trajectory in their career. What is Arlin's strategy when it comes to landing a new opportunity or job? The biggest one is networking, knowing people, asking questions, looking for opportunities. I think just really being willing to learn gets you a lot of opportunities. And some of those, being comfortable enough to say it's the right time to take this opportunity, or to take this opportunity, I need to step back from another opportunity. That's fair as well. What are Arlin's biggest accomplishments? One of my biggest accomplishments was probably getting my PhD, just because it's such a game changer for my career. Being able to call myself a structural engineer, being able to stamp things when I feel comfortable with them is a really big step. And I found after being in EIT for 4 years, it was really nice to get that process completed with Professional Engineers Ontario. I would say also graduating from my undergrad, I'll be very excited when I graduate from my master's. Every little piece, every little accomplishment, whether it be a week-long course or a grad class or a technical conference, I kind of have a little, celebration, pat on the back, cheers type of thing to try and remember how much I'm learning, how far I've come. That's it for me. Thanks for joining us. And if you have any more questions, feel free to add me on LinkedIn. And I hope you have a good afternoon.